Hello, we are in the room with Paul Schembri, our Director of SEO at Catalyst. My name is Alan Amerault, I'm Head of Strategy at Catalyst. Welcome, Paul.
Thanks.
Today, what we're talking about is voice search, particularly as it relates to SEO. And just to start, Paul, we've talked a lot in the past about voice search as it relates to the different products and technologies available for actually conducting a search with your voice. My first question is, what's going on in the world of voice with relation to organic search, and why is it important?
Yeah, it's a really interesting time with voice search becoming more and more popular, more and more devices being integrated into our everyday life. I feel like we're just kind of scratching the surface on what they're capable of doing. When it comes to SEO, something we need to be thinking about, as brands is how do we format our content to make sure that it appears in voice search and gets, read back by these devices to the person performing the search. So a lot of generic questions like who is the president of the United States, that'll be pulled in through Wikipedia. So obviously brands don't have too much say over what's there. We've all seen the Burger King commercial recently where Burger King tried to kind of modify their Wikipedia page to play into voice search. It was an interesting one, but where brands need to really focus is for those more complicated answers or product-specific answers, they want to make sure that they're writing content that gets pulled into the answer box on Google. And that's been a big focus of ours as SEOers for the last few years, about making sure content we're writing is formatted in a way, with bullet points and headers, tables, that can be pulled into an answer box. That way, if someone searches, hey Google, what are the mortgage rates for TD Canada Trust? If it's formatted properly and pulled into the answer box, that's something that Google can then read back to you. And if they can't execute that today, they will be executing that very soon. So we need to make sure we're formatting and framing our content in a way that plays nicely with kind of the answer box algorithm.
Okay, and I imagine there's huge, like you mentioned Burger King, there's got to be huge implications for local brick and mortar businesses as well when it comes to rendering properly for voice search commands as well.
Definitely. I mean, local's a whole nother ballgame. So right now in the States, the big one is Domino's. They were the first one that on the Echo you could order a Domino's pizza over voice, and you would just order your preferred order that you have saved in your account. But definitely when you're looking for information around brick and mortar locations, it's more important than ever that your location information is accurate on Google or whatever other platform you're using to perform voice search. That way they're able to detect the one that is actually within your closest proximity. And then pair that nicely with the mapping feature, also done by voice search, to give you directions to that closest one as quickly as possible.
Okay. One thing that I was going to ask you also about is with voice commands, obviously there's different types of queries, they're much more conversational. How do brands have to anticipate this, and how should we as brand marketers change our way of thinking to capture voice queries better, I guess?
Sure, it's interesting. Google's algorithm moved from something that was very individual keyword focused to semantic search. With Hummingbird, the algorithm update, this is going back, 3 years now. Mm-hmm. It was all about making it more conversational and better contextualizing someone's search to understand what they were looking for. It's obvious now that they were predicting that this is the model we'd be moving to, where in the past you would have a keyword list. There were individual keywords that would generate 80% of your site traffic. You would then go and mine for long tail keyword strings that would generate the other 20% of your organic traffic. I think we're moving to an area where that's going to flip. You're going to need a ton of long tail keyword searches that are going to be delivering that 80% of traffic. However, how I ask the question or how you ask the question is going to vary quite differently. And that's what brands kind of need to wrap their heads around, and SEOers as well, is create content and create optimizations that are more contextualized to what the answer is that they're trying to give, using semantics, close variant terms, antonyms even, and building up the whole theme of the page instead of being very, individual keyword driven. Exactly.
Gotcha. So it's more about understanding the category in all of the different ways that we talk about it as opposed to quite specifically.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, keyword stuffing hasn't worked for ages, but it's about taking that next step. You know, we moved away from keyword stuffing to building content that doesn't read spammy,
Yep.
and now we need to move towards, again, it's just building that really, really rich, good, high-quality content that proves that you are the best source to be answering this question, and that will be what resonates with all these variants of long-tail keyword searches.
Nice. All right, that works for me. Thanks everybody for watching. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel as we'll have new content coming out about voice search, even in the paid search realm, I imagine quite soon. And thank you for watching, Paul. Thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Hit that like button, it really helps the channel grow.